Welcome to this ServiceTool tutorial on how to customize parameters. I have already loaded the vehicle file I created in the tutorial How to Create a Vehicle. And here we have some parameters in the write list. Anyone using this file, no matter if it's the configurator or the service version, will be able to change the values of these parameters. If it is a critical parameter, it is strongly recommended to set the limits for the minimum and maximum values. To do this, either double-click or right-click on a parameter. Click Edit Parameter. And here we can change many variables, but let's make sure anyone don't set these breaks to a dangerous level. This is just an example, but say minimum value is 350 and maximum is 800. Press OK. And here in the min and max columns, we can then see the limits provided for us. Anyone, including a configurator user, will be denied changing the value outside of these limits, and an error like this will be shown. I advise you to have the columns for min and max shown so you can clearly see that the limitation is correct, especially when changing a parameter with factor applied, like this one. Its actual internal raw value ranged between 0 to 32,776. But with the factor scaling at 0.01, it is shown as volts, ranging from 0 to 327. So let's say we want to set its limits between 40 and 80 volts. The minimum and maximum value should then be set to 4,000 and 8,000. And here, when we have the columns visible, we can see that the values are what we expected. But let us customize the parameter some more. Sometimes the parameter has a generic name that does not describe it enough, and here you can change that easily. Here you can also change the description given to the user if you feel it needs more explanation. It can be typed just as plain text as shown here, but it accepts HTML code, so you can make lists, etc. Maybe something like this. Some values also make little sense unless showing the intended value, like device type. When we are reading the description, we get what the different values mean, but our value is not in the list. This is because the value should be read as a hexadecimal value. By right-clicking the parameter, we can show it as hexadecimal, and now it makes more sense. Sometimes on older units, it does not automatically separate individual bits on parameters using them, like we see here at the Command All parameter. Let's say we want to control the rollback disable at bit 9 and the speed neutral brake ramp on bit 1 and 2. If we did not have access to these sub-parameters, you could also add the Command All, in this case twice. Then we added the parameter. Rename the first one to rollback disable. Down here at bits, we enter the bit belonging to this setting. We type 9, and this will only show the value of the bit in the position 9 from this parameter. We do the same for speed neutral brake ramp at bit 1 and 2. When having multiple bits, we separate them with a comma like this. 1, 2. We now have two parameters only showing the explicit value of the selected bits. It is probably a good idea to also change the description to only display information for the selected bit. Any parameter with a single bit displays a button that can easily be switched on and off with a single click. Because we did this change in an EPF that actually supports bits already, we see here that it also has a value field definition. This gives the parameter a drop-down menu, so it's easier to select a value and directly see what it does. If customizing an older EPF, there is no value field definition, so the value has to be typed manually, and this makes it more important to change the description, so it is clearly described what each value do. But now when we have a parameter with a drop-down menu to change the value, I can show how it's also possible to limit these values the same way as any other parameter. With 2 bits, we actually have 4 values: 0, 1, 2, and 3. In this case, I limit it between 1 and 2. All possible values will still be shown, but selecting one outside the limit 1 and 2 will deny the change. Sometimes you don't have an object dictionary for a node, neither EPF nor EDS. In this case, you can't add parameters as usual. To do this, you add a custom parameter, either here, plus, or by right-clicking in a list. Add custom parameter. For this to work, you need to know the exact index and subindex of the parameter you want to access. And also for it to work correctly, you need to have information about the data type, factor, etc. So you need to type everything manually. You don't get any information from an object dictionary. So let's add 0x1000 subindex 0. This is the device type and should be present on all CanOpen nodes. Data type should be unsigned 32 for this, and I will leave the rest blank. And we can see here that it is working. That is all for how to customize a parameter. Thank you for watching. Please contact us if you have any questions, want to purchase our products, or have any feature requests.